We did a great job. 11 offensive rebounds. We outscored them on second chance points. 21 assists on 33 made field goals. Shot distribution was really good. Just overall, like, strong team effort.
Everyone thought the Fever would struggle without Caitlin Clark. Instead, they dropped a 92-70 statement win that felt less like an upset and more like a blueprint. From game-changing blocks to unexpected scoring bursts, this was a night where every player had a hand in rewriting the narrative. And it might just be the start of something far bigger.
AB moved up to third all-time in Fever for franchise blocks.
When Aaliyah Boston steps into the paint, it's like she's flipping an invisible "do not enter" sign. Against Chicago, she didn't just defend, she erased scoring attempts from existence. Shot after shot met the same fate, a loud rejection that sent the ball flying and the crowd roaring. Boston's timing is so precise, it feels almost unfair. She doesn't lunge or gamble. She waits, reads, and then strikes, shutting down drives before they can even develop. This game pushed her into third place on the Fever's all-time blocks list in just 112 games. That's a pace that borders on absurd, considering she's still carving out the early chapters of her career. The Sky tried to test her, again and again, but each attempt ended with the same result: a frustrated shooter and Boston standing tall. It wasn't just defense, it was intimidation. By the second quarter, Chicago was second-guessing every attack at the rim. But the real twist? Boston's dominance didn't stop at defense.
And season 9 points.
Lexi Hull came into this game with a reputation: tough defense, relentless energy, and a knack for making opponents miserable. But against Chicago, she proved she's far more than just a defensive pest. Midway through the first half, Hull snatched her 100th career steal, a milestone that screams consistency. But she didn't just celebrate it. She turned that momentum into her best offensive night of the season. Every time the Sky relaxed for even a second, Hull was cutting behind them, hitting shots or sprinting in transition. She didn't need flashy plays to make noise. She just kept piling on points until her stat line looked almost unreal for someone known first for her defense. That's what makes her performance so dangerous. When a player you expect to just lock down your star suddenly becomes an offensive weapon, it throws your entire game plan into chaos. Chicago couldn't adjust fast enough, and by the time they tried, Hull was already torching them from multiple spots on the floor. And she wasn't the only one rewriting the script that night.
And we got a couple for Kels. Kels, season 9 assists. And moved into the lead in the entire WNBA for total points.
That is for the girls.
Kelsey Mitchell has always been a scorer, one of the most feared in the league, but against Chicago, she showed an entirely different gear. Sure, she put up her usual points, slicing through defenders with that smooth, unstoppable first step. But what stood out was how she controlled the entire offense. Mitchell didn't just take shots, she created them. 8 assists, a season high, each one perfectly timed to catch the defense off balance. Sometimes it was a laser pass to a wide-open shooter in the corner. Other times it was a no-look dish to a cutting teammate who barely had to take a dribble before scoring. What's dangerous is when a scorer like Mitchell starts orchestrating the floor. Defenders can't key in on her anymore, because if they do, someone else is left wide open. She's evolved from a one-woman scoring machine into a complete offensive commander. But the Fever's domination wasn't just about stars. It came from the kind of unexpected energy that shifts games in a heartbeat.
AK, career high in rebounds.
Michaela Timson didn't need 30 minutes to make her mark. She needed a handful. From the moment she checked in, the tempo shifted. Loose balls that looked out of reach suddenly belonged to Indiana. Rebounds in traffic? She was pulling them down like they were hers from the start. In just a few minutes, Timson grabbed a career high in boards, and it wasn't luck. It was pure hustle. She attacked every possession like it was the deciding play of the game. That kind of energy is contagious. You could see her teammates feeding off it, running harder, pressing tighter, refusing to give Chicago any breathing room. What makes Timson's contribution even more impressive is that it came in a game already dominated by big performances. She didn't fade into the background. She amplified the chaos for Chicago and gave Indiana an even bigger edge. And when role players start shining like this, it sends a message. This team's depth is no joke. When a team loses its biggest name, most people expect a drop-off, a scramble to just survive until the star returns. But the Fever flipped that script completely. This wasn't a desperate win. It was a statement. Without Caitlin Clark, they didn't lean on one replacement hero. Instead, they spread the responsibility across the roster. Boston's blocks, Hull's scoring burst, Mitchell's playmaking, Timson's hustle. It all blended into a system that didn't just work, it dominated. That's the beauty of true depth. When every player understands their role and plays it at a high level, the loss of a star doesn't break you. It sharpens you. This game wasn't proof that they can survive without Clark. It was proof that the Fever are building something bigger than one name. And the scary part?
Honestly,
This was them operating without their full firepower.
Like, I didn't see people talking about
If
that
this is
enough.
what
Like,
Indiana looks like without
I don't think
Caitlin
people
Clark,
realize how big of a deal
imagine
that
the
is.
storm when she's back. Clark's court vision, deep range shooting, and knack for bending defenses will only magnify what we saw in this win. Picture Boston owning the paint, while Clark draws defenders 30 feet from the hoop. Picture Mitchell attacking with even more space. Hull sneaking in for those backdoor cuts. Timson cleaning up the mess when chaos breaks loose. At full strength, this team doesn't just have options. They have layers. Defend one weapon and three more appear. The kind of lineup that forces opponents to pick their poison and live with the damage. This 92-70 win wasn't a one-off. It was a preview. And if they can play this fast, this balanced, and this relentless without their star, the rest of the league should be paying attention. Because when Caitlin Clark returns, it might not just be about winning games. It could be about making a run nobody sees coming. What happened against Chicago wasn't just a win, it was a warning. The Fever aren't waiting for the future. They're building it in front of us, piece by piece. Every block, every steal, every extra rebound spoke to a team that's deeper than a single name, smarter in the way they adapt, and scarier because they can beat you in so many ways. They're learning how to win with grit, with pace, with precision. And when Caitlin Clark steps back in, all of that gets amplified. This isn't about surviving until the star returns. This is about creating a system that thrives no matter who's on the floor. And if that system keeps growing, the Fever won't just be hard to beat. They'll be impossible to ignore. Because this isn't just a season, it's the start of something bigger. And we're only seeing the beginning.